Welcome to the anomaly reading of the winter solstice. I got a special presentation for you tonight. This is an anomaly deck that I got. It's called the Fae Tarot. And guess what? I went up north for the winter for a week, and I came back because I had a storage locker up there, and there was this deck in it. Okay, and so with this deck, I have no idea why I have this. I have no memories, and so I'm going to use this deck, and because it's an anomaly, okay? And this is an anomaly reading, and I'll tell you why I'm doing this reading. This is the winter solstice reading. Check out the current cosmos right here, right now. Here it is. Here we go. So this is what we're looking at. This is the current cosmos. And there's Mars, there's Earth. Right here. No, that's Earth. Okay, so this is the winter solstice. Okay, you can see that. Winter solstice time. There's things happening in our skies. This is the sun. Okay, this is Earth. This is Mercury. This is Venus, right there, and there's Mars, and so some things are happening right here. There's Jupiter over there, and there's Uranus, Neptune, Saturn, and there's Pluto over there, doing its own thing. And so, I'll rewind time for you, just to show you what happened. So, the big thing that was happening was the 3-eye atlas was coming through, the interstellar comet. All these other comets are like frequent flyers. And so here's this weirdo coming in too, because it's from like a different direction. But anyway, this happened near the Mars thing. And then that was like the famous interaction, and then it got close to Venus. And Mercury's swinging around, and it's kind of close to Mercury, and then there's this Earth thing. It's currently, oops, right here, December 21st. Okay, so this is the winter solstice, right? And so this time, in this anomaly, I'm grouping this up into 3 readings. There's one reading with the 3-eye atlas, that has a connection to Earth and Jupiter at this moment in time of the winter solstice. Now these ones are all grouped together. I'm going to do a reading on that with the Earth. So there's this neat formation of the Swan and the Atlas with the Earth. So this is like birds of a feather flock together, while this 3-eye atlas is like this lone traveler of the anomalies. And so what do we have over here? Well, we got a Lemmon and a Wierzchos, and we got this Mercury, Venus, Mars thing. And check this out, they all line up. And so what is this? This is war, this is love, and communication. This is men and women and communication. And so, you got your lemons for your throat, so you can still talk, and this Wierzchos, it's a weird conversation, but yeah, that's what happens sometimes. There's this weirdo coming in, and this lemon, and they might have an interaction. They might talk about something. So that happened, and then there's a sun right here, right? Look at the Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the weirdo, the Wierzchos, and the lemon, and here's the sun, right? And if we pivot this situation, well, look here, it's Neptune and Saturn. And so I'm connecting Neptune and Saturn to the sun to expose, with the sunlight, the illusions of Neptune with the karmic consequences of Saturn in this communication of Mercury between Venus, love and women, and Mars of war and men, with this weirdo and a lemon. So that's what I'm doing with my life right now. And I have all these readings for you, for your life right now as well. So that's what's gonna happen. All right. This is the winter solstice. Okay. So happy holidays to you. This is the time of light in the darkness, and sometimes, you know, we don't get that light in the darkness when we need it the most. And so what happens? We have to become that light in the darkness to inspire ourselves and cut off ties to situations that don't benefit us. So, karma is in play. This is the winter solstice, after all, and it is the year of 2025. Now, this isn't particularly this solstice type of reading, it's an anomaly reading. I'm doing the solstice things later, but 2025, that 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, this is the 999 year of completion of leadership mode, and so this represents things coming to close. Close a cycle. You're gonna get your closure. You're gonna get your karma, and you're gonna get your jEsTeRJaMiSeN. And what else? What else are you gonna get? Are you gonna get some tarot readings? Well, not actually, because in this deck, I modified these decks. Okay, the Fae Tarot modified these so they're because there's blue people and green people and red people, and the red people, you would think they're fire, but they're not. Okay, the green people are fire, and it bothers me. Okay, so I blacked out all the edges. There's the Fool again, of course. Blacked out all the edges, and so you know, you don't know what they are, but I'm treating these as oracle cards, so I get a unique kind of perspective on them. So these are my anomaly cards for this evening. This is an anomaly reading, and so yeah, all about how endings and closure and cycles come to an end with anomalies. Maybe you went out of your way to create an anomaly. Maybe you were the anomaly and you were disrespected, and there's karmic consequences for that. Maybe, but so this is the reading. This is 2025 at the end in the winter solstice with the endings of the 999 leadership mode, and so this is the dark night of the soul. This is the dark night of the soul, where you're supposed to be the hope of light, of inspiration. And so, if no one is that for you, you gotta find that within yourself. You gotta create that for your own situation, and this is what this reading is about. We got one reading with the Traveler. Let's see if you can see things. Yeah, so we got one reading here with the 3-eye Atlas and the Jupiter and the Earth. That'll be the travel, the mysterious traveler reading. We got another reading over here. Birds of a feather flock together with the Swan in a neat formation, with the Atlas and the Earth. And then we got this communication thing over here. This with the Weirdo and the Lemmon. Mercury communication, Venus and Mars, and the exposure of the Neptunian stuff of what do you call it? The lies and the deception, the illusions, the fantasies. You get the exposure of that, so you get the truth. And here's the karma. So that's fancier, isn't it? Yeah. So welcome. Choose your pile. Choose your pile. You got 3 piles to choose from, and it's going to be an anomaly reading about endings and consequences. So keep in mind that in the future, after this, it's going to be a whole new beginning, and it's going to be fantastic. But right now, we're in the dark part of the soul, and we gotta find that light of inspiration. So one way or another, something's burning, and let's try to ignite a flame in your heart. So, alright. Choose your pile. Greetings. Greetings. Welcome back to the anomaly reading. Here we have a very special reading for anomalies. I'll show you. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. This is our current anomaly reading. We are focusing on Wierzchos, the Lemmon, Mars, Venus, and Mercury. And we are focusing on the Sun and Neptune and Saturn. Right here, there's somewhat of a connection. Now Saturn, hang on. Saturn represents karma and justice and social contracts. Neptune deals with illusions and dreams. The Sun is the revealing, the exposure, the light in the darkness. And here we have Mercury, Venus, and Mars. This suggests communication between the opposite sexes, between the woman and the man, between two extremes, two polarities. We have communication. Now this can represent a treaty and war. This can represent karmic consequences. This can represent a conversation that stops a war, potentially. This is a treaty. This is open communication that has karma and the dispelling of illusions. And so, what we have right here is Wierzchos and the Lemmon. Now let's take a look at Wierzchos. Right here. This Wierzchos is weird. Okay, everybody else is like doing everything, but this Wierzchos thing is like doing this. So, Wierzchos is weird. Everybody else has their own thing. We will talk about this and other readings. But right now, the Lemmon. This is the Lemmon path right here. This green. Lemons represent lemons. And now the Wierzchos. If I can click on it. Nope, it's Mars. The Wierzchos. It comes in at a different angle. Kind of like, well, kind of like a weird dancer at a club that just hangs around the edges for a while, and then finally they make their move. Whereas a lemons are frequent flyer here. They're on the floor all night long. But the Wierzchos is this weirdo that shows up one night, and that's not weirdo. Wierzchos. So they take their time. But tonight, on the solstice, they apparently make a conversation. So this can have different aspects to it. So the Mars and the Venus and the Lemmon and the Wierzchos and the Mercury, well, that's communication. It's very nice. However, when we twist it just a little, we pivot on a pivotal moment of all space and time, we get the revealing factor of the Sun with the karmic Saturn, and the Neptune of illusions and dreams. So your dreams may have woken up, so to speak, meaning that you may have had a fantasy about someone, and then you realize their true character, and so now it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna communicate to you about this, but it's not gonna go anywhere. That's one possibility. Saturn is there's consequences. Okay, there's karmic justice, karmic situations, contracts. This is like the karmic contracts, either coming to a full cycle, a completion, or starting anew. Maybe you're adding something to your spiritual cosmic contract. Anyway, so we have the Mercury, the Venus, and the Mars, and that could suggest romance. That could suggest romance with the Lemmons and the Wierzchos. The thing about lemons, when we think about communication, we need a throat, right? Well, lemons help our throat. And so if you're gonna go about socializing, if you're going to actually embrace someone, you want to be healthy, you want to take care of yourself, take care of your throat, practice speaking a little bit, sing, dance, whatever. This is a wonderful time in the December 21st era of the winter solstice of 2025 to have a conversation. Now, ladies, if you're waiting on a guy, don't wait, okay? Talk to him. Send that message. Don't say like, oh, this is a sign that he'll contact you. Well, if he's not a good man, he's not going to do that. So you're going to have to be forward and assertive at this time. It's a wonderful time for communication, especially karmically. Send that message. State your boundaries. State what you want. Say like, hey, this is how I feel. Okay, state what you are, what you need. And say this is unacceptable behavior. Okay, you have to get your message out there. You know, there's the Saturn-Neptune Sun element, where the Neptune of illusions and dreams and fantasies and wonder, and the realm of the mind, the intellect, the fantasies, and then there's the Saturn, the so to speak, down to Earth, but it's Saturn, down to Saturn. It's all about the cosmic interactions, the karma. So the Sun exposes all the illusions and sets things into karmic places. And so this is a wonderful time for open communication. It's just, it might not be what you like. However, at least it's the truth. Okay, this is a very good time for truthful communication. Now, you may have a guy that just shuts down on you because he doesn't want to admit any faults. Well, you got your answer, right? I mean, he's not going to be a character in your life anymore. This is a fantastic time to eliminate your ties and your social contracts. Why do we meet these people? Huh? Okay, like, I'll give you an example. Say someone really shy and insecure, and they don't talk, okay? How the universe works is they're gonna meet a bully, an abuser who talks all the time, who constantly silences people, and so them meeting, the shy one eventually learns how to defend themselves, eventually learns how to speak up, and state their needs. And so the shy one develops social boundaries, the shy one develops communication, and also the shy one knows how to eventually manipulate the conversation to say, no, I see your manipulation tactics, that's not gonna work. I can identify every single little thing you did. And, no, you know, you state your boundaries, you state your wants, you're good-hearted. Hey, I want friendship, you're not gonna play your part. Okay, fine. You know, cut your contacts, sever your ties. On the other side, the bully, the abuser, is supposed to learn how to actually have a heart. Okay, the shy one came into the abuser's life to inspire them. Now they're not conscious of this, unfortunately, but eventually they're supposed to be inspired to care, to see from the other perspective, to realize that they did damage, and they have an opportunity to communicate the regret, the shame, the remorse. And if they do not live up to that, if they do not take the time for you, if they do not actually admit fault, if they don't want to work things out, well, then they're damned. So at least there was an opportunity for communication, and sometimes that doesn't go so well, sometimes it goes wonderful. Now, I recently had an opportunity to reconnect with an abuser. I took that opportunity. I said, hey, I want healing. And they didn't heal me. So, unfortunately, you know, I offered them the path of friendship and open communication, and, you know, I really wanted things to go well. And this whole, like, open communication with Mercury, Venus, Mars, and all the universe and everything, I got excited. Everything. But, no. See, he wanted to play the silent game. He further did the manipulation tactics. He did the hurt thing. He didn't change, okay? So, it's disappointing, but at least I get clarity. And it's seeing him for who he really is, because, you know, when a guy leads a girl on, he creates a fantasy, right? And so over the years, that fantasy is a fantasy, and so you finally get the courage to speak up and say, hey, just hey, you know, the treatment was unfair, and I'm here for healing, if you're open to that. But he wasn't, and he shut down, and he's like, I don't have to do a phone call. Yes, men, you do have to have a phone call. Why is that so difficult for men to do? I mean, they flirt with you, they lead you on, and they're like, oh wait, I have things in my life. So it's a manipulation tactic. And so, in this moment of communication, it's revealing information, okay? It might not be what you want. Things might not work out, but at least there's enough communication to get your answer. And your answer, most likely, with Saturn and Neptune involved here, and the Sun exposing the Neptune illusion, and the Saturn and the karmic consequences, it's most likely going to be a severing of ties. But you get your closure, you get your needed expression, okay? At least you spoke up. At least you defended yourself and stated your needs as elegantly as possible. If they don't want to play that role, then, you know, there's plenty of other characters out there. How embarrassing, man. They could have had a story, they could have had everything. But, no. They weren't interested in that, and seeing who they were, so disappointing. And so there's this, because I'm all about energy, right? I want to feel something, and so I felt this connection. So I went to 1,000 miles away, and yeah, I saw how disappointing he was, and I kind of lost interest after that. So you know, there's life. So anyway, basically, I suggest for anyone, you know, thinking about if someone has changed or not, the answer's no. Okay, I found that out for you. So you don't have to. It's, sure, there's somewhat change, but, like, you're evolving all the way over there. And, like, they might be going down, okay? So they might be, like, slowly, but by the time you're over here, like, you're not even, it just doesn't resonate, okay? So, yeah, disappointing, but at least, you know, there's this closure, the communication, the attempt, Alright, so that happened. I really hope for anyone watching, you right here, if you're watching this, I hope this is a lovely scenario for you for open communication. Ladies, you gotta contact the guy, state your needs. Don't just wait by the phone crying, okay? You gotta say something, and that's revealing, right? If he gets upset, if he gets mad, if he's like deflecting and not actually answering, it's like it's a lot of drama. But you know, if you bring up something from the past and he doesn't address it, he deflects and changes the subject. It's not a good guy, okay? And so you got your answer by not getting an answer. And so you just don't tolerate that, okay? It's unfortunate. You can give a chance, and if they don't meet you there, well, you gotta move on, because there's so much more things you gotta do for your life. So hopefully, you know, all the readings are timeless, and maybe this represents actual love, but you know, at least there's the truth here, and that's what we got. We got communication, the truth, karma, and inspiration. Okay, Neptune's not just like wishy-washy dreamland. It's ideas. It's intellect. So you know, thinking about consequences, thinking about the future, thinking about how things are. It's actually thinking. It's nice, you know. I mean, some people don't think. So this is a wonderful sign that there's communication. You know, this could be between two factions. Okay, this could be two businesses like at war with each other. There's going to be an open dialogue, and maybe they agree to stay at war. But at least there's some sort of attempt at healthy communication in an elegant format. So I'm going to embrace the love and the opportunity and the inspiration of what truth can bring. Okay, sometimes there's difficult truths because abusers, particularly, they don't want to hear that they did things wrong, because they're all like, oh no, I'm being exposed. Everybody knows. I mean, you got your reputation. People talk behind the scenes, you know. But the victims, they need to talk. They need to speak up and actually get that confidence and learn, like, to not invest their energy in them anymore. Like, okay, I got my answer by not getting an answer. And so you don't, this is the game they play. They make you wait. It's like, oh, you want to know things? Well, I have to make you wait for it. It's, no, don't tolerate that. So, here, I got a new deck to try out, okay? It's the Fey Tarot. This is an anomaly reading. And so, what this is, I recently went back up to Portland. I live in the Los Angeles area, not by choice right now. And this deck was in my storage container that I had for 10 years. So I don't remember buying this, but I'm going to use it because it's an anomaly. And so I modified this. It's I took out my Sharpie and Sharpied it because I didn't agree with what they were. Okay, so like I'll talk about it in a different video, but as my review or whatever. But I'm treating this tarot deck as a oracle deck because some of these, like, you know, it says a number of swords and there's only one sword when there should be like 5 or something, and it's I didn't personally agree with it. So and then there's different colored people, okay, like this, okay. You might not be able to see that, but this is a green person, and what do you think this is? This is supposed to represent fire. Okay, this is like the Ace of Wands. And I love fire, so this kind of offends me. But okay, so Anyway, I'm treating this as an oracle deck, so whatever comes out, and whatever I think about it, well, I'll share it with you. And so this reading is the Wierzchos combined with the Lemmon in the time of the Mercury, Venus, Mars dynamic with the Sun, Saturn, Neptune. And what that means is that it's about communication, it's about love, and so I'm going to do that reading now. Okay. Here we go. There we go. Da-da-da. Testing out here. Okay, welcome to the Wierzchos reading of the Lemons, and this goes the other way. Okay. Okay, this is the Wierzchos reading. Let's maybe get some light. Sure, there's light now. Okay. I will show you what I see. There we go. And transform 180 degrees. Alright. Here we go. This is my view. Welcome to the Wierzchos Lemon reading. Here's these cards. There's a bit of a glare. Maybe that's fine. Alright, let's see what we got for communication. Well, Fool came out. I'm gonna take that because I'm a fool. It's in reverse. So. Alright, communication. What do we get? What do we get? Between the Venus, Mars, Wierzchos, and Saturn. Maybe two more? Sure. This one. Alright. Okay, I don't want to know what this is too. Alright. Ooh, okay. This is the Outcast card. Right here. That's a wonderful topic for communication. Alright. Let's see. Alright, so this is what we have. What do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep, of course. So like this one. This is why I don't like this deck, because look at her. What element do you think she is? And she's green. Like a bluish green with plants on her. What element? And she's pregnant too. What card do you think this is? This is the Queen of Wands. Okay? So, doesn't make any sense to me. Someone who kind of identifies as Queen of Wands, even though I'm a Libra. But anyway, okay, so what do we have for the communication reading? Well, we have social isolation. Alright, so we got the people in a group here and this monster outside. So you know, you've been outcasted, ostracized, labeled as the monster, you know, pushed to the outside. This goes well with the Wierzchos. I'll show you this Wierzchos thing. Yeah, the green right here. This is kind of like this outsider. And now finally this is like the moment of communication. So let's see if that's represented in the cards here. Alright, so okay. Well, this is this would be sorrow. Okay. Your cup is empty. Alright, so you're not getting what you need emotionally from your current situation. This could be crying. This could be overgiving yourself. As no one's filling up your cup, you're constantly filling up others, or you're running dry. You know, you're running on empty. So yeah, you got the outcast card, you got the empty cup card, and here we go. No one sees your value. You lived your life, you have all these talents, all these abilities, but this is in reverse, so no one sees that. And so people pass you up. They don't get to know you, and they don't embrace you. And so, of course, this makes you angry and resentful. And so, instead of actually coming to you right, they'll just label you angry. They'll just label you resentful when they don't take responsibility for their actions. And so they further condemn you. Alright. Here's a shattered cup. Yeah, this is loneliness. This is damage. Okay, and this is a communication reading, so it's important for you to talk about all the damage that you felt. They're silencing you. They're trying to keep you silent. Wonder why. You know. Yeah, you had so much opportunity for a connection. This ties into the karma thing, where your intentions didn't go unnoticed by the universe. I mean, all this energy that you poured into the situation, all these fantasies, they're not working out. But the universe saw that, and so there's going to be some sort of karmic reward for it. But right now you're kind of in despair, in the sadness of losing something, the potential of something that could have happened, but didn't because someone didn't play their part. Now this fool here, the thing about fools is that we're called naive, we're called foolish, and yet it takes quite a wisdom to play the fool, to act our parts. You know, all these keys, all these doors, this is all the spiritual access that we have because we went through cycle after cycle after cycle, doing the whole fool's journey, for knowledge, to gain skill. We were on the path of enlightenment, and just because we carve a silly pumpkin, then what, we're called childish. So in reverse, the fool can mean that someone has perceived you as being naive when you are not naive. And maybe this communication era kind of shows that, like, they're not seeing you in this this foolish, naive light anymore. They're seeing the mastery of every single little thing you've done. Probably not completely, because they still don't value you, but at least they see they didn't. Their tricks didn't go so well. Okay, you were aware of all the deception. You had all your outs. Like think of like a hallway of doors. You know, all these keys. you forge these keys yourself. You have all these different avenues, like a dancer. You know how to move within the spiritual realm, and so they could have limited you and restricted you, but this is freedom. Now it's in reverse because, well, it's, you know, the traditional foolish. I mean, these are oracle cards, but you know, upright, it can represent foolishness. Even upside down, the fool can do anything at any position, but naivety. Major naivety, especially if they don't value your worth. They're not filling up your cup. They push you on the outside. They damage you. You had all these dreams with them. They could see you as naive, and yet, you know, you have all this pain. You crafted things with your pain like normal artists do. And this is the Enlightenment card. And you know, think of like a little monk creating things, having fun, instead of, you know, like looking up politics, looking up, you know, bad news or something. This is like the mental health kind of card, where you take responsibility for your mind and you focus on things that are positive, that help you out, that don't bring you down. And so you know, this is confidence. This is self-worth. You know, there is a belly here, so yeah, that means things are growing, not necessarily in you, but yeah, you're working on your projects. You're making a new start for yourself, and yeah, like, even though they call you a certain thing, you know, you know your worth, and you're keeping your mind healthy. Now here, since this is a communication reading, this can okay, I'm gonna show you something. Okay, these quarters here. All right, it's hard to see, but there's one quarter that has like a little image on it. This one, of like this figure with the arms open. That's free, you know. It's all free and stuff. And on the other side, there's this giant head. And see, this is a normal quarter, and it has a small head. And so when I first saw these quarters, I was like, who is this? Who has a giant head like this? But it's this guy. It's Washington. But his head's bigger for some reason, because it's like a special quarter. But yeah, so I thought this guy was different when he's the same. And yet I flip it over and there's freedom. There's you know, I thought this was like a thing of change, and here on the other side there's a tree on a hill. Tree on a hill and a figure spreading out their wings. So it's like freedom and experience. And then there's this illusion. Possibly, you know, this can indicate change. You know, spare any change kind of thing. And then, you know, maybe you say no. Okay, there is no change. So it's the same guy. It's just circumstances are a little different. But through this process, you got the freedom and the adventure, the experience, and so you got the closure. And so that's kind of there we go. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm seeing. These coins here is like, this is the change. You were hoping for all this change within a character, within your conversation, with whatever faction you're dealing with, individual or a company or a nation or whatever. But there isn't change. It's the same old story. And so this is depressing, you know. You wanted But the character's so grumpy in the upright. Yes, this is like harvesting things and keeping it away from people. Again, this can, you know, do the karmic thing. Like, your time's not wasted here. You're drained, you're exhausted, you put in all this effort to protect this thing, but, you know, the karma coins are gonna come to you in a different way. Not through this, this thing you wanted, but you didn't get. Now here, this indicates a longing, a desire. This could be tied to the Neptune thing, about the dream, the fantasy, the wish. But yeah, you got all this energy, and it didn't pan out. There's things in the past and the future. Well, the future's looking well emotionally. Mentally, you're gonna have like the happiness, the enlightenment, but these people here who cast you out, or maybe you broke ties with someone, you severed your connection with someone toxic. This could be the toxic person that you're keeping out, to maintain your happiness. You know, you could either be looking in to the social dynamic that you're not a part of, or you're putting up a boundary and maintaining your peace. And so, like, peace confirmed. You gotta communicate your needs, your standards, and if people don't live up to that, then, you know, cut them out and only focus on what makes you happy. And so it's difficult when you have fantasies, when you have desires. But there's a loneliness because there's not that connection. It's just a thought, a fantasy. But then here, especially combined with this one, like things didn't work out like you were thinking, but there's a bigger reward, like that cosmic thing where divine rejection is like divine redirection. So it's gonna work out well for you, but maybe this is them, that they had their chance, but they didn't put in the effort to grow these things, and so they don't get to share your amazingness. Now this one, this is an interesting card. So upright, it's you're on your way to do something, and your body completely fails. It turns to sand, and so you can't. Your sword breaks. You know, it's you can't do what you wanted out of this situation. Like, you're completely stopped. And in a communication theme, a communication theme, it's like you were ready to speak, but they shut you down, they silenced you, and you weren't allowed to be charismatic or romantic or all these flamboyant things that you mastered, and they just shut you down, and you couldn't express yourself. Now in reverse, you know, this tells me there's a different reason, like, kind of, maybe like this happened for a good reason, like you were shut down so you can redirect your energy to better things, because if you went through with this, then you could have the regret, because they could have done something worse than what you imagined. So you know, it's kind of feels, this upright, this feels like complete collapse, like something prevented you, where someone either cursed you or just completely, like, what is it, stonewall, brick walled, whatever, shot you down, prevented you, silenced you from communicating. I mean, there's a sword here. It should be a communication card. This is a silence. This is a halt to your plans, to your progress. In reverse, it kind of suggests, like, okay, it didn't go the way you wanted, but at least you got what you needed out of it. So you still achieved the mission, but not in the way that you thought you would. So, like, you wanted closure, but you got closure in a different meaning, in a different way. And you wanted this this fantasy, this good memory, but it didn't work out. You know, your feelings weren't addressed. You weren't valued or appreciated. Things weren't mending. They completely shut you down. And so, you know, this suggests that things are working out in a different way. Not that you planned, but in a way that karma will reward you for speaking up, for communicating. And now, let's see, you got your mental clarity, you got your peace and happiness, you got your self-worth, you're letting go of the situation, you're dealing with the emotions of the fantasy, realizing that they can never fill your cup. So unfortunately, I thought this was going to be like a loving reading. However, it's you got to pivot. I'll show you. It's a pivotal situation. Okay, you see this Wierzchos and the Lemmon, and you think of the Venus, Mercury, Mars. Here, click on the Lemmon. Alright, so you got the Mercury, Venus, Mars all like connected, and you got this weirdo with the Lemmon. Now, this weirdo is weird, okay? It's not normal. And so communicating with a weirdo can be kind of weird. And so it's not exactly, no, that's not it. Where's the weirdo? Okay, so, weirdo. This one, right? No. Yeah, see, the weirdo doesn't want to be seen. I mean, a weirdo, here it is. This one. This is the weirdo. The weirdo dips in. It's hard to communicate with weirdos, okay? Like, it's nice to have, like, freedom of expression and stuff, but people are weird for a different reason, and so maybe you thought this weirdo was something interesting, something unique that you could resonate with, like the Venus, Mercury, Mars thing, but it's just every time you tried to communicate with them, like, you did your part with the Lemmon, but this weirdo just, didn't do their part. Because they're abnormal, they're different, they, at least there was open communication with this, this anomaly, but, it didn't resonate, and, you know, here's the exposing sun right here. If we pivot, this is a pivotal moment, and it pivots to the Neptune-Saturn connection right there. It was an illusion, there are karmic consequences, there's karma in play. This is the exposure of the situation. And here's the open communication with the weirdo and the Lemmon. So, yeah. I mean, it's cosmically, karmically, it's working out for you. This was an end to a cycle that it didn't go your way, but at least it's done with, and you learned everything you had to learn. They had the opportunity to meet you there, but it seems like they chose otherwise. You know, your value was not represented here, and there's sadness, and you got your self-worth. That's very good. You know your worth. It's just, you know, if you see this broken little thing, you know, a person with a heart wants to heal it, to mend the wounds, to fix the damage. But in this situation, it seems like they left the damage because they were proud of the damage they did. They want you empty. They want you ostracized. You know, they're not putting any effort into it. Like, upright, this is like a hard day's work, putting in effort. This one's just like completely abandoning the situation. But you're doing well. Like, cosmically, you're on your own path and stuff. You made your opportunity. You tried to have peace, and it just didn't work out. So you know, the whole redirection thing, your plans, you wanted so much. You were so dedicated to this one scenario with all these dreams and hopes, and you wanted to put action towards this, but they did not resonate with your dreams. They did not help you plant those seeds, and yeah, they silenced you, they cut you down, and so you found a different way, a redirection. Just like the Fool here. It's an adaptive card. You know, it didn't work out this way, so you're making it work out this way. And you can still have fun. The Fool has fun up or down, or sideways. That's what the Fool card does. And so, it may be difficult, as in reversed. It's difficult to find that foolish, childish, happy nature again. So this is like full foolishness right here. You're happy, you're like making your art, you're not distracted by anything, but this is on your mind. And it's making you focus on things that prevent you from your creativity. And so, you know, the solution to that is to go through the emotions, to let yourself fully embrace all the fantasies, and then deal with the reality that they're not meeting you here. They're nowhere near what you had in mind, and what you had to offer they didn't respect. So you know, this isolation, this this separation, you know, it's good. You don't want to be stuck in a toxic situation where you're constantly getting your cup drained. You know, you can have adventures on the outside. You don't need these people if they're not going to respect you. You know, you're alone, but you're finding your own happiness within, with your own projects, because it's not working out with this connection, unfortunately. But big plans for your future. This is the Mastery card. This is the Energy card. This is Karmic. This is like all the spare little karma coins that this person wasted your time with. Like, you're receiving this now. The universe is finally paying you back, and you know, you're finally letting go of your anger, because at least you tried to communicate, and you found that closure that wasn't reciprocated. So you did your part. You offered friendship. They turned out to be disappointing. They were not a friend. And so, yeah, that's what I got for you. I was okay here. Okay, can you see me? Testing audio. Rotate. Okay. Alright. So, Golly, that was disappointing, wasn't it? I was hoping it would be loving for you despite my current situation, but the cards kind of told my situation that's also your situation. So this is a karmic communication type of situation. I mean, look at me. I dressed up for the love, for the romance, for this reading, despite my terrible situation. I was hoping to present something lovely for you, for like, oh, you get to meet this weirdo, and it's a loving embrace, and there's communication, and no. You know, you dressed up, you did your best, you dressed to impress, and did they? No, they were not impressive. They did not wear the impressive attire that you went out of your way for to present yourself to them. And so that's kind of this message. This is unfortunate. They don't see your value. They don't see your worth. This is a karmic situation, and so this moment in time, this winter solstice, is the reflective time for endings, for transformation. And you think of death. Okay, death means the end. All right, and there's two types of death. You know, the emos and the goths. We represent death, and so there's two types of death. There's the death of decay, the destruction, the rot, and the death of transformation, of new beginnings, of resurrection. Okay, you take an ember, a spark, a little ember of the night. It has the potential to reignite. That's the transformation process. Unfortunately, if that's not cared for, then it just turns to ash. And so that's the situation we got here. You did your best. Okay, you chose to reignite that ember, and they stomped on it. They smothered it. They silenced it. There's something karmic about this, that they wanted to silence you, and so you spoke up anyway, and things are working out for you. That ember didn't go to waste. Now it's gonna reignite something for you, like here. Yep. Like that. Okay. So and for them, what do they get? They don't get the embers, they get the ash. All right. So, or this is like a ricochet kind of energy. Okay, what they intended for you, it kind of reverses. So, unfortunately, they didn't play their part in this cosmic dance. However, there is a silver lining, and there's a silver lining to this situation, and so you got to make the most of your situation. Perhaps I'll share something with you. Okay. So, I went traveling recently, and so I got here. Perform for camera. Okay, I got this. All right. It's a little heart with a little thing in it, right? It's got a golden lining. Okay. There's these places called Love along the travel pathways. They sell gas. It's like a traveler's rest stop. They sell food and blankets and everything. They got showers, possibly, and toilets and everything. So anyway, it's called Love's Travel Center or something. And so I got a heart there because I was traveling on a mission of love. And thing is, I got two of these. Okay. This one's pink, and the other one, here. Okay. This is the center of it because it fell apart. Okay, the one I was wearing is over here. I have it hanging up here. Hang on. Look at this. Alright. It's completely empty. Alright. Its heart fell out. It has a heart because I wore it in the shower. This thing almost went down the drain. Okay, this is kind of like the situation. It's terrible. Alright, this is an empty heart right here. This is the container for this thing. You know, it's supposed to go in there. And it's red, you know. The other one's pink. But its heart fell out of the heart. And if you watch my behind the scenes stuff, you'll see my bathroom floor has, in marble, has a heart separated by a line from here. There's the line. Here's the heart, the separation line, and a tiny heart on my bathroom floor, almost like predicting my future. And so I'm sharing this with you. You can watch more about that story in the behind the scenes stuff later when I get around to it. But the point is, I traveled with this, and it fell apart immediately when I got back home. I took my first shower from my long journey back, almost dying on the way back, and the way there. The roads are dangerous, okay? Make sure whatever you're doing it for a good reason. And, you know, if someone's gonna be aggressive, let them pass you. Let them be aggressive. If they're right behind you, slow down. You know, so that they don't, like, push you along, get you all flustered. Just slow down and they'll pass you. But anyway, unfortunately, this is the current theme of my life, is that, you know, I come with love, and it just shatters and falls apart all around me. So that's kind of your situation in this reading. There is a karmic ending to this false connection, let's just say. Okay? And, so that's your reading. That's not quite the reading I wanted to say for you. I was hoping for you it would be more loving. But there is the silver lining, or the gold lining. The gold lining on that faded away because in the shower it came off, so even the gold lining wasn't there. But here it is. Alright, this is karma coins. Alright. All that energy, all those tears, you're gonna reap the rewards of it, okay? You came with love, you're gonna get love from the universe, just not from that source, okay? So, you know, there's a connection that's good, and your current dealings, you know, you severed a connection that was bad, okay? You know, everybody's situation is different, but you know, I thought, you know, no, we'll be friends in the future. It has to, and then no. How quickly it turned around, though. I went from thinking this would work out, and thinking I'd have a friend, but that didn't work out. So by the time I processed everything emotionally, all the loss, because when he wouldn't even call me, when he shut me down, when he tried to silence me, that was like a major turnoff kind of thing. I lost interest in the guy. So that's, you kind of see their true characters here. Like, if they're gonna let things crumble and not take the time to honor and heal the situation, you know, they're not worth it. So this is it. The Wierzchos reading of cosmic stuff. Hang on a second. There we go. Here it is. We got the Mercury, Venus, Mars, Sun, Saturn, Neptune. This is the exposure of the illusions and the karmic consequences you get one shot of communication, and that doesn't work out, then these two dancers are on their way. So, the good thing is, you know, well, the lemons. Remember the lemons for your throat. Like, as a content creator, I'm constantly talking, and so you gotta get used to that. For communication, if you're planning on communicating, take care of your throat. Make sure you're healthy enough for the communication. You want to keep your energy up for these big moments. And so I recommend to you, if you are dealing with something that is unjust and unfair, don't put your emotion into it, okay? Be emotionally disconnected from the heart. Like, show your love. You want a friendship, that's fine, but be distant, because they betrayed you before, and so you're offering an opportunity. And so when I was crying my eyes out, it wasn't because I trusted them. It's because my whole life, you know, in 10 years, no man has ever touched me, and so I go to the guy and he doesn't touch me. So, you know, crying over that too. But the thing is, he already severed the heart connection a long time ago, and I was just there offering a future, which he didn't seem too interested in for the redemption arc. As a friend, you know, I didn't trust the guy ever. He's not the loyal type, but there was still that energy, because that cosmic cord wasn't cut, it wasn't severed, there was no closure. And so I went there and I got my closure, not the way I thought I would. I thought I'd have like this night of amazingness, a week of memories, just to end things with forever. But no, he didn't want that. So you know, I got my closure in a different way, lots of tears. But my point is, you know, looking back on his behavior, like, he still is incapable of making a phone call or an actually nice text. He's not a good guy. He's not a good character, and so, like, it would have been embarrassing to open myself up in that way, and so that's why, you know, things didn't work out like I planned. Because, you know, later, like, if it was a wonderful experience, it would have been a manipulation tactic. Okay, this character, he wouldn't have had his heart in it. It would have been designed to do more damage, and so it didn't work out in that way. And I was here open with love. But so anyway, my advice to you is, it can be healing to hunt down your previous abusers and have a conversation with them, but don't expect them to heal you. They will deflect, they will change the subject, they might say sorry once or twice, but then a week later, and a week after that, then where's those sorries now? Like, they put up that sorry front, but they never meant it, because there was no regret, there was no shame, there was no remorse, and their actions say a lot more than their words. And when you bring up something really major and they deflect it, no. They're trying to escape responsibility, and karma has their card. So, you know, leave it up to karma. Okay, you've suffered enough. You got your closure. You offered what you could. The deal didn't work out because they didn't play their part. They're not a character in your story. So this is a sign of karma, of consequences, of communication. If you're shy, talk. Say what you need to. Text the guy. State your boundaries. State what you want out of the situation. If he gets all grumpy and angry, then that's your answer. That he's not going to appreciate you. A real man wouldn't do that to you. So, anyway, I hope your conversations go well despite all this news. Just be emotionally distant. You know, express your heart. It's just, don't rely on them. Don't ever rely on them, because this is a karma situation, and whether things work out well or not, you don't want to wait on them. If they make you wait, then they're lying to you. So if you're not getting anything out of this, then sever that connection and let karma do the rest, because this big event, this ended the cycle. You got your closure. You don't want to think about them anymore. You're moving on. You're doing your things. You got this life. You got this amazing journey ahead of you, and you don't want to be all grumpy, you know, with no opportunities. So like they are, because they hurt you. But yeah, this is your future right here, and karma's gonna work out in your favor. So that's your message. I wish you love. I wish you good connections, good communication. Time is relative, so if you're seeing this, maybe you know, learn how to communicate more. You know, watch the videos on communication of how to like express yourself and stuff if you're struggling with that. Take a chance, you know. You know, the fool always takes a chance. Okay, send that text. Okay. Maybe it won't make you happy for getting your answer, but at least you did it. Okay, and you can feel completed. You can feel accomplished, and it's the end of the journey. So you know, this is the closure of the cycle. New things are happening, and if you ever interact with them again, then it's not going to be as heavy, because things are resolved one way or another. It's ended. All right, that's what I got for you. Alright, listen up. We got something to discuss. Alright? We're here right now. This is the anomaly reading, and it's a very important time to talk. So, we're gonna talk about that. Alright? So, here I am. Like this. This is an interesting time for the universe. We have a visitor. Okay? And so this is an anomaly reading, and what do you do with a visitor who comes into your town to dance for that night? Well, I'll show you what you do. Come here. Here it is. Alright, this is Atlas. This is the 3-eye Atlas. Let's zoom out. It came over here. And it's gonna go over there, maybe. We don't know. This is the winter solstice right here. And so this is the path it's taken. And, you know, it was near Mars a while ago. Back in October. You know, did the whole Mars thing. And now it's December. So, where is it right now? Well, here's Earth right here. And here's Jupiter. So it's right between Earth and Jupiter. And that's what we're gonna look at. We're gonna do the 3-eye Atlas, the Earth, and the Jupiter. And so what does this represent? Well, this represents a traveler, okay? Everybody else is like on the dance floor all the time. This one, they're just stopping by. They're just cruising by. They're a visitor. And so, you know, they're gonna go on their way once they're done with this system. And so we're gonna talk about that. Anomalies, okay? You get this dancer, this weirdo, this traveler that shows up into town. You don't know what to do with them, apparently. And so, the thing is, these travelers that go by, they have a limited time to interact with us, a limited time to make an impact. And so you would think they would be honored and respected for their amazing wonderfulness, but sometimes it's not the case. So what do we do about that? What are you gonna do when you see someone that you'll never see ever again? What are you gonna do about that? So here we're gonna talk about that. I got a new deck. This deck is here's a turtle, man. He's on a turtle. Yeah, so I got that. This is an anomaly reading, and so what I did, I traveled all the way 1,000 miles up north to a storage locker that I had for 10 years, and so I found these in there. These are the Fae Tarot. I modified them because I didn't like them. These things, okay. They got green people, they got blue people, and they made the fire elements green. So I like fire elements, okay. I want to like fire elements, but anyway, here's a turtle, man. So I'm using these as these are created as tarot decks, but they are going to be used by me as oracle decks because I did the Sharpie thing. Okay. Took a Sharpie and I put these on these cards so I didn't have to look at what they were because there's a green character with a stick on its back, similar to this. Okay, this is like the Vol form of it. What do you think this is? You think this is Earth? No, it's fire. Okay, probably. I don't know. The green one. The other thing I'm talking about is I like this card. It's a turtle, man. It's an interesting card, but golly, like this guy. Look at this. Okay, you saw Turtle Man? Look at Fire Man. Okay. This is Fire Man. What element do you think he is? He's Earth. There's sun right there. He's made of fire, and he's Earth. Okay. Anyway, I'm treating these as hopefully this is a water card. As oracle cards. So we're just gonna talk about that. So anyway, these were in storage for 10 years, and I don't remember getting them. It's like an anomaly, and so I'm embracing this anomaly moment as I'm using these cards because the artwork's kind of pretty. And so I'm gonna interpretate them. Interpretate them. Ooh, there's the Fool. Of course. Here's the Fool. It's a nice, foolish card. My camera doesn't focus, so I'll show you maybe later. But so we're gonna do that. But you know what I gotta do? I gotta talk about anomalies. All right. Look at this. Right here. This right here. The Atlas. All right, this green line. This represents the traveler, the dancer that shows up one night and you don't embrace him, or maybe you do. Okay, so that's up to you. The dancer's there, but anyway, it's all these other things represents like what usually happens. Okay, and here's this weirdo, or not the weirdo. We're not doing the weirdo reading. This is the traveler, the Atlas. This is literally the Atlas, the traveler. Oh, gosh. They traveled so far, you know. Almost died several times just to fly by here. And so, what happens? They get to their destination, and are they impressed with their surroundings? Do people treat them wonderfully? No. So, anyway, we're gonna do a reading about travelers and anomalies and the anomalous traveler. Because the thing about traveling is you want to explore places, and if you don't have a good time, then you're not going to come back, or maybe you will, and that bad time is going to change everything because it's a pivotal moment in time. But anyway, I I want to tell you a story about this hat. Okay, I recovered this hat from my storage facility that was in storage for 10 years ago, and this hat is special to me because it's a cat. I like cats. That's the only reason why it's special to me. But back in the day, I was 18. Okay, I'm 36 now. I was 18 once, and so what happened was I went to college at 18. That was an anomaly. See, I had the Gateway program up in Portland at Sylvania campus. Right. There we go. So, Sylvania campus, community college up in Portland, Oregon. I went to college because there was this program in high school where you can take your high school credits at the college campus, so you can get college credits at the same time you're working on your general education diploma, which is the same thing as a high school diploma. It's just for more intelligent people, but they condemn you for it because you're being intelligent. So you're the anomaly. You want to actually get an education. You don't want to deal with all the high schoolers. So what do? You get educated. And so society tries to condemn that and say, oh, it's a GED, not a real high school diploma. Have you been to high school? I haven't. High school, it's terrible. Okay, the GED, the general education diploma, you're in a setting with adults and you're homeschooled and you can learn on your own. Of course, if you have abusive parents, then the abusive parents are just gonna homeschool you for control mechanisms, and so you don't ever get to socialize. You get shut down with your communication, you get silenced, and then you meet other people in your adult life who further silence you. So anyway, I was in this college campus doing my GED thing as well as the getting college credits. So I took a creative writing class because I was so shy, and so all I thought I could ever do was write stories. I had a passion to write, and so that's what I did. I wanted to be a writer, and so I took a creative writing class. That was my passion. And my parents are yelling, like, get an education, get a job, and meanwhile I want to kill myself. But anyway, I took this creative writing class, right? And so I wore this hat because I love this hat. I love cats. I want to be a cat. Okay, I'm tired of being a human. But so this is one of the best hats ever. Like you see this hat right here, over here. That's also a cat hat, but the little flimsy ears are like only this big, and they like flop over all the time on this thing over here. Anyway, this is far superior. I'm glad I reclaimed this. Anyway, this poor, pathetic excuse of a boyfriend at the time when I was 18, scrawny, terrible creature. But anyway, he gave me this, and so we had matching cat hats, and embarrassingly enough, we said meow all the time to each other. But anyway, he got a gray one. I got the black and the red, and so let's just say I like the hat better than I like them. I mean, come on. Okay, anyway. So anyway, at the time I was 18, and it was a gift from the only boyfriend I had because I was previously abused sexually, and then this was the pathetic excuse for a real relationship, and it didn't work out. But anyway, I was socializing, right? And I got a gift finally in my life. My damned life. So, anyway, it was special to me as a gift at that time. And so, I took this creative writing class, and because I was so shy, because I didn't find my voice yet, because this was when I was 18, I was fresh from all the sexual abuse, and then I got in this stupid, pathetic relationship, and he would say inappropriate jokes, and it wasn't a real relationship. He'd watch porn and everything. He was so scrawny, but didn't do anything. Anyway, I never got attended to. So anyway, I'm in this creative writing class. I couldn't speak. All right, I was a writer. That's what I did. I I'm just like all sad, with the head down, barely looking up. It was a sad, pathetic life. It was like I was a mouse. Okay, I was just like a hidden little mouse. Now I'm a cat. All right, so now I can embrace my catness because I'm amazing. And charismatic, I learned how to talk, I learned how to bite, scratch and everything. So, the point to my story is that I was so traumatized and silenced that I couldn't speak, okay? Everybody else was loud and obnoxious and horrible and stuff, and here I was silent. But I wore this hat, okay? So I'm just sitting there, writing. Writing. And so, what happens? Okay, I'm minding my own business. I'm just being me, in a cat hat, wasn't wearing this, but, just regular clothes and a cat hat, okay? And, my creative writing class teacher, what she told me? She pulled me aside one day, and I had to walk through the back rooms to her office. Okay, she's like, meet me after class, and I don't know what's going on. Maybe she likes my writing. Maybe she wants to talk to me about advanced classes or whatever. No, so I meet her after class in this office. And she says, why are you wearing that hat? Okay. I was a young, high school aged student taking college classes. I was respectful, I was nice, I was just quiet. And everybody else was obnoxious and gross and everything. I just stuck to myself. All I was doing was wearing this hat in class. Okay, when I was 18. I'm 36 now. And, you know what this creative writing class teacher said? She said, why are you wearing that hat? I'm like, well, it was a gift from my pathetic little thing at the time. And so she's like, you don't talk. Why are you wearing the hat if you don't talk? Like, it's distracting, If you talked all the time, if you were charismatic and expressive, then then you could justify wearing that hat. But you're silent. You're just sitting there. You're not saying anything at all. You're quiet. Take your hat off. So, yeah. So she thought being silent had to look like this. Okay. Maybe with the hair over the eyes, like an emo. Is this better? To be silent by? Can I tend to my own business now? How's that? Because I'm not saying anything. She thinks I can't emote. So, yeah. And the thing is, this makes a fantastic cat when you're silent. Did I say cat or hat? Anyway, look at this. I'm looking at myself right now, and I am imagining myself being silent anytime I want to. It's I was an anomaly in her class, and she didn't treat me well. She said I can't be expressive. Have you ever learned of, like, body language, This is... Silent people, we emos, We paint our eyes, we paint the tears that no one gets to see. We paint the scars that was inflicted upon us emotionally. We tell our story through visual art. We're artists. That's what we do. And this creative writing teacher had a problem with this hat. Okay. And yeah, so that's a problem. She's gonna get some karma for that, but anyway, I'm gonna do a reading on travelers, okay? Recently I traveled over 1,000 miles to pick up this hat, and this, yeah. This tarot deck, full of cool things. And so this is an anomaly reading, and these, I have no memory of buying this deck, like, yeah. Anyway, I'll review this deck later and show you. Oh, this is the Lovers. Look at this. It's like an air and an earth element. It's cute, but anyway, so I'm treating it as an oracle deck, and so I'm gonna do a reading about anomalies. I recently traveled somewhere for like 1,000 miles, and almost died getting there, almost died on the way back, and my heart was destroyed while I was there. But I was a traveler, okay? I had one opportunity to make the most of my experience. Everybody else had one opportunity to make the most of me, and they didn't do that. And it depressed me, so I didn't make the most of my experience while I was there. So, you know, I'm thinking I have to go back and reclaim that territory. But anyway, this is an anomaly reading. And what do you do when you see someone you like, and they're over there, and you're you're shy? Are you intimidated? Are you not going to put in any effort at all while they're there in front of you before they die? But anyway, this is the reading about travelers. Okay, so if you're a traveler, if you met a traveler or anything, I will show you right here. Yeah. So this is the Atlas reading. The 3-eye Atlas. We're gonna do this, and the Jupiter. This is like this might be my last reading. I'm gonna do Earth, Jupiter, and Atlas for this reading. Or wait. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, okay. So Atlas and Jupiter and Earth, because it's kind of in the middle-ish. Whatever, it's leaving the system. It's near Earth. I thought it was like closest to Earth. Like, I'll do some... it's the 21st, which is the winter solstice. So anyway, it's getting Earth energy and Jupiter energy right now. So, yeah. So yeah, the thing about Jupiter is a planet that represents exploration of new ideas, of all the religions. You take all the different perspectives and think about it, and so you can develop your own thing. And you know, I'm not a fan of religion at all, but it's just philosophy, all these different perspectives. Jupiter's like, you take all the information, and you don't shut it down just because you know you don't like something about it. You're like, okay, I'll absorb this, see what it has to offer. And that's kind of what the Traveler, you don't just like cast it out because it's a Traveler. You're like, okay, Traveler, let's see what you get. And you know, the Traveler travels. That's what travelers do. And so the Traveler gains knowledge and information and all these different perspectives and everything. And so I got another story. So I was so depressed, and I was walking around Portland, Oregon, thinking that I made a friend, but I didn't, because they were never a friend. And so I'm walking around the friendship circle, all alone, thinking about misery and not friendships, like you know, betrayal and abandonment and everything, neglect. So I'm walking around this friendship circle all alone, and I'm thinking like, Portland's terrible, you know. I'm traveling by. Okay, I hate smokers. My parents were smokers. They ruined my life. And so who do I meet in my future? Not my future. In my past. Who did I meet in my past? All the smokers. And they're horrible creatures. Karma will get to them. Anyway, so these smokers. I walk around Portland thinking, you know, I'm gonna feel this amazing thing because I haven't been in Portland in 10 years. And I missed the wind and the rain, and I'm stuck in the desert down here in Los Angeles. And, you know, I thought I'd miss Portland, but I got there, it's muddy. Okay, there's mud everywhere. And then there's these people outside on the streets. And first my heart goes out to them, right? Like, oh no, they're on the street. I feel, you know, bad and everything. But then they start pulling out their cigarettes. Okay, they start taking my air away with their hypocrisy. Like, I walked by, I saw the word love, so I took my phone out. I was gonna take a photograph with my phone of the word love, of like this advertisement of love, because I was so heartbroken about everything. And so there was this love, and this guy comes out. Immediately when I stop, this guy comes out of the shop, starts smoking. Takes my air away and glares at me. And so he ruins this lovely moment that I was trying to capture, and that's the story of my life. So I didn't have a good travel experience. And so I, as a traveler, felt well, further isolated, further rejected, further oh, there's a word for it. Oh, whatever. They just, it was like Portland was like pushing me out of town again. And you know, when a place does that, you kind of have this instinct to go back and then claim it as your own again. Like, okay, you're gonna treat me like that, I'll show you me on the dance floor, everywhere. But anyway, what was my story? Oh yeah, Scientology. So I'm walking down the Saturday market because I haven't had the Saturday market experience in 10 years, and so me as a traveler, like, I was longing for that. It's part of the reason I stayed an entire week, so I could catch this Saturday market experience and walk around the Saturday market friendship circle on the waterfront alone, without my friend that I thought I'd have by now. But anyway, I'm walking by. I'm trying to, you know, get some new things. I wanted a pendant to claim my experience. Well, I got a pendant when I was traveling. I said this in the love reading, but this pendant here. Hang on just for a second. Here it is. I did get a pendant, and there's these love travel places. You if you're a traveler, go to Love's. Love's is a travel center that has gas and food and showers, possibly, and toilets. It's called Love's, and there's hearts on it, and it's a travel destination. You can get like this gas card and everything that I didn't know about. But anyway, I bought this here. Okay, that's supposed to be in there, but it fell out on the shower, the first shower I had when I returned home. This fell apart. It's a heart. And so my traveler experience, this kind of summed up the whole thing. Like, I brought my heart there, and it got torn apart. So anyway, that back in my box of charming things. I got some other things in there, but anyway. So, my point is, I'm walking around the Saturday market trying to get some pendants to have a nice experience for myself. And so what happens? This guy, he's selling Scientology books. I didn't know there was Scientology at the time. I just heard this guy. He's like, hey, do you want a free stress test? I'm like, stress test? I've been stressed so much. So yes, I'll take a stress test, and yeah. So he tells me like to hold these things, and I'm like, okay, I'm holding them, whatever, and so he's doing the knobs and everything, and it goes, and he's like, oh, okay, let me just adjust this right now. Okay, now, think about something that recently made you stressful, and then it goes like, and it stays on the stress thing, and so it was like maximum stress, and I barely even told him anything. Interestingly enough, when I started telling him about my previous traumas to set up the story of why I was so stressed, you know, I've been abused and everything, the stress thing, this is full stress, it went all the way down when I was talking about my traumas, because I've already, like, healed as much as I can. It's already all out in the open, and I'm freely discussing it. There was no stress talking about my previous traumas, but this recent event, golly, it stayed there, okay? I barely even spoke about anything, and it's, yeah, I was super stressed. And then I opened the book up, I don't know what the book was, but he was selling a book, and I'm just open a book up, it goes, demons. I'm like, oh, of course. I land on the demon page, of course, how fitting. And so, he said there's, like, psychology stuff in the book that will help, like, not be so emotionally attached to situations, and how to, like, heal and stuff, so I thought it was a good read, and I didn't read it yet, but, you know, that's what, this thing is. Yeah. Jupiter, right here, with the Traveler, and here's all these other things. Here's Jupiter. Jupiter is like the knowledge thing. You take all these perspectives. Just because it's like labeled one thing doesn't mean it doesn't have good stuff in it. So you know, I'm very spiritual, but I hate all religions because they're so sexist and controlling and everything. So anyway, I'm hoping to find something to help me out for the emotions in that book, like he said. And of course, yeah, he offered to talk about the thing that was stressing me out, and then I'm like, oh yeah, I would love that. And he was like, but are you gonna buy the book? I'm like, how much is it? And he's like, $25. And I'm like, okay, sure, I can buy the book. And he's like, okay, bye. He didn't. He didn't, for the discussion and the whole thing, why I was so stressed out, because this guy that I was trying to get as a friend, he wouldn't talk to me. So, he continued to not talk, and this extension of the situation didn't talk, and I'm silenced again. So, at least now that I'm 36, I know how to talk. Even if they don't want to talk to me, I'm still gonna talk. So, at least I got that. I'm evolved now. And so, got that going for me. You, however, you came for a reading. So, yeah, the Traveler. It's the Traveler, anomaly reading. Okay. So, the Traveler anomaly reading, it's, that's what this is right here. Explore your own concepts of, ideas and philosophies. Travel, get new experiences, that's the theme. So let's get into the reading. Alright, here it is. It's, okay. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So, here's the reading. It goes like that. Alright, here's your reading. The Traveler reading. Alright, that was a pre-shuffle. Yeah, there we go. Okay, here's a better shuffle. Yeah, so travel, 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 travel. Anomaly travel. So, you know, like, maybe advice for your travels? Oh, no. Oh, there's the Fool in reverse again. Wow. Okay, there's 3 right there. Maybe this one? No. This one. Okay, see what we got. Okay, interesting. Travel, 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 travel. Alright, we got some interesting cards here. Alright, here's the knowledge card. Alright. Oh, you're... Hang on. Let me, like this. Okay. Now you see what I see. So, here's the knowledge card. Alright. You know, we got the sword here. That's communication. There's knowledge. There's, autumn. With the air element and everything. So, you know, this is an oracle deck to me, but, you know, it's kind of, it's all about knowledge and intelligence. Strategy. There's strategy. And then there's another sword here. So, interesting enough, I just finished the Wierzchos Lemmon reading with the communication. This is the Atlas reading, and so it's more like a self-discovery kind of lonely meeting. Maybe this suggests you made more of an impact than you thought you would, even if they neglected you. Something changed, like, because you were there. All right, you spare any change. Change occurred. There's some kind of impact. This is a girl and a guy, and you would think they would communicate. She's even looking at him, and he's not. So, you know, this isn't the communication reading, because, here, I'll show you. Alright, so I'm doing the Atlas travel reading with the knowledge. Maybe Earth. But I already did the Wierzchos Venus, Mars, Lemmon, Mercury, Sun, Saturn, Neptune reading about communication. And it was a karmic situation. And so I'm doing this one next. And, so yeah, it went past all here. But, the thing is, this is specifically a travel reading, an anomaly travel reading. And so it's not specifically communication. But, we got 2 intelligent cards here. There's, knowledge. There's an exchange of knowledge. That's what travelers do. They tell their stories and, exchange ideas. So, there's that. The social situation for the traveler didn't seem to work out too well. This could be gossip, this could be lies, this could just be a bad night at a dance club. Yeah, the traveler, much like my own experience, didn't socialize too much while they were traveling, but the knowledge, both the internal knowledge and the external knowledge was gained severely. Like, that's that. Now, travel can be exhausting, okay? very exhausting. There's plans you gotta make, there's all these things you gotta balance, and travel itself, in my experience, the most challenging thing was to stay awake on the road. Like, even if you got all the caffeine, and you're traveling on that road, you got all the energy, that sound of the tires on the road, it just like, it overwhelms your exciting music, and it's just like white noise, and you just, it's soothing, and it's kind of like always there. And so even if you feel super energized on the road, your eyes are gonna close. Your eyes are constantly gonna close, and that was such a challenge for me. I didn't expect that. I thought, I had a good night's rest, I had all this caffeine ready to go right beside me, and still, like, I struggled with the drowsiness. I planned just to stop for gas along my 1,000-mile journey, and what I recommend to you is to stop at more rest stops than you think you'll ever need, because once you get drowsy and then you're waiting for that next rest stop, and because for those who don't know, on the road, on the freeways, they have these rest stops where you can stop and park and sleep. They're called rest stops, where you can rest, and they usually have like bathroom facilities, maybe vending machines, and sometimes showers. But Love's, if you go to Love's, with the heart and everything, there's these places called Love's that has all the snacks, and they sell technology and road supply stuff like bungee cords and jackets and pillows and everything. It's a nice place. They're all over the nation in America. So anyway, this can represent stress and fatigue while traveling. You gotta rest. You gotta rest. Like, I had some close calls on the road, and I wasn't expecting to be that tired. And then when you are tired and your eyes are closing, you're trying to find that next rest stop, and then you finally find one, but it says it's closed, and so you have to keep driving. Just, if you're not safe on the road, pull off somewhere, just anywhere. Take the next exit and just like sit there for a while. Even if it's not technically a rest stop, you gotta be safe on the road. So, and that's something I never accounted for. Like, I did the whole gas thing, I thought I had all the energy, but it's just that it makes you sleepy on the road. You just want to like fall to sleep. And so, don't underestimate the fatigue on the road trips. So you might want to get to your destination fast, but you got a long road ahead of you. You gotta walk around, just wake up a little, get out of the car, walk, and just get that mind going. Like, I was playing exciting music, I had the caffeine, still drowsy. So anyway, prepare for that. Always bring water and snacks, and assume it's going to be colder or hotter than you think it will be, and get a jacket or whatever you need to cool down. So plan your trip accordingly, because it can be exhausting. And then when you finally get the trip, like, it can be disappointing, and so you got all the tears, you got all these memories and stuff, and it's not what you might have thought it was. But what you do have is all this positive knowledge here. Okay, this could be communication, this could be like trading stories between two travelers, this could be making an impact in a community. There's lessons learned. You gathered all the knowledge, you maybe dropped off some knowledge. These are like quite masterful knowledge cards. So it's a very good sign. What else we got? Okay. So, we got the social regret right here. And this is kind of... you were not celebrated. Okay. This is like a birthday, a celebration, happiness and stuff. You were not celebrated. You showed up as a light in the darkness, you know, in this time of winter, winter solstice, and they put out your flame. So, they did not celebrate your awesome, amazing wonderfulness. They extinguished the light. Why they did this? Well, there's 1,000 different reasons, but they just didn't value you. So the people there weren't good enough for you, and that could be quite devastating to go through. But you got so much knowledge you can use, and that will make wise decisions for later on. Now this can be like a traveler that's put all this effort into this thing, and now they're drowsy. They're falling asleep here. And you know, I was on a mission to go pick up some storage that I had in a facility for 10 years. And so this could be like all the cargo. And here's the drowsiness. You're on this mission to pick things up, and you got it. But it's so taxing and draining on you. And so just be careful on the road, because anything can happen. And there's road rage. People are just so greedy and violent. Now here, we got these swords here of intelligence, of mastery, of elegance, of communication, of leadership, and then we got this. This is the sword of vengeance. Okay? So quite possibly a karmic situation happened, and this is a good sign that karma's gonna, you know, return to sender. Like whatever happened on your journey helped you develop weapons, so you can defend yourself, so you can take the offensive if you need to, state your boundaries, speak up for yourself, tell the harsh truths, kind of thing. Like, maybe someone doesn't want to hear something, but you gotta say it anyway. And so it could damage the relationship, but actually, you know, it's truth, it's honesty, it's necessary communication. And so this figure here, like the warriors who craft their own weapons, it's very special to them. It's made from like a creative, like an artist, like this one right here. They put their heart and soul, all their tears and pain into the creations. And now, not all their creations are for like wonderful story time. On an energetic, spiritual level, they're also creating a ricochet type of energy. Kind of like auto defenses, in a way. So, if someone wronged you, if someone caused you pain, then you can take that pain and craft it into something. Something that will help protect and defend you later on, and also motivate you to release all that pain, so you can focus on what makes you happy. And so, it unfortunately you gotta go through the emotions of feeling this. But, you know, this is a good sign, karmically, that the pain is being lifted from you and returned to sender. And these two cards together, you know, you're stressed out, you're fatigued, and you're not in creative mode. You know, you want to be awake and, like, happy to create. But right now you're not feeling too foolish, not feeling too playful. because you're tired. You need your rest, so you can create all these things. And also, like with this pain here, if you're experiencing pain, then you need to integrate that. This is called shadow work. You need to kind of resonate, bond, deal with the pain of the situation, so you can heal from it, and that takes a toll on your body. So if you're tired more often, that means there's something you're processing, spiritually, emotionally, physically, energetically, whatever. Follow your body. If your body's tired, you gotta sleep, so you can have that energy later to work on your creations. Right now, it's hard for you to smile, maybe. You know, you hear the words turn your frown upside down, but it's just not working out right now. And so, you know, the Fool is really a tragic character, and so they're always in pain all the time, and so it's that creativity that frees them from that pain, but only because they go through it, those dark nights of the soul. And this is the winter solstice. This is the time of reflection and of integration, and so you're putting your pain into better places, so you don't store it up all inside and not attend to it. You know, with these cards right here, this is mastery of information, this is self-control, this is leadership, all the knowledge that you gained despite the pain, and you're just resting, you're relaxing from the whole ordeal. You got what you needed to get out of the situation. Okay, it was tiresome, but you did it, and everything's, you know, intact and safe. But again, whatever you went through with this traveling situation, you were not valued, and you didn't get to interact how you thought you would interact. So you were possibly rejected, or gossiped about, or just you're not seen for who you are. And so people passed you by when you wanted to socialize with them. We also have the outcast card here. And so, as this traveler, you know, you came in, you wanted to socialize, and you're just kind of further outcasted because they got their little circle, and you're on your way, you know. That's just how it feels sometimes. Now, this is interesting. Okay. So, here, this is more like the foolish nature upright, and then here it's like double confirmed of the foolish nature down left. Yeah, here's this key over here and everything. So yeah, this could be projects that you're working on. This could just be your base creativity, and so you're not feeling that spark of inspiration, and so you're not motivated, which is just like this. And a big part of that not being motivated feeling is you were not valued. Now this is another, if you are working on a project, this means it's behind the scenes currently, so no one gets to see what you're working on. And so, you know, there's that, this social validation that's just not coming through right now because everything's still being worked on, so it's stressful because you don't get that socializing when you really need it for your health and well-being. But so you're putting your projects on hold because you're getting things done physically with the travel thing. So maybe you don't want to travel, but you have to do this, and you're like, you really want to work on this project or this story or something, and you just have to put this on hold while you're traveling. Now, yeah, this could be a video game you're playing, this could be a story you're writing, a project you're working on, and yeah, you just have to put it aside. Now, the feeling you get when you're playing that video game, when you're being in your foolish state of creativity, you're finding it difficult to get back into that. And this is a travel reading, so what does the Fool do? The Fool travels, right? It explores and learns and tries things out, and so you're just not feeling too foolish right now to embrace that happy travel state. And so there's depression, and particularly you had plans on this trip for things to go in the way that you wanted them to go, but you're more tired than you thought you were, and so you're making sacrifices of where to put your energy because you don't have too much energy. But the whole purpose of your journey was to do this, was to harvest your pain. Okay, you did the physical thing. That's done with. The emotions was highly disappointing, but you got the ricochet energy. You got the karmic consequences all wrapped up and sealed in this situation. You got the knowledge, and you will integrate that knowledge into your future projects because you're good at what you do, despite people not seeing you and isolating you, rejecting you, and everything. Here, though, this is the creative free spirit. This is like the Fool going on the journey, having adventures. This is what motivated you to travel in the first place. You wanted new experiences. You wanted to master your situation, and you're proud of what you did, and you should feel accomplished by your accomplishments. And so, yeah, this is a pride card. You did a good job. You tied up loose ends. You severed connections. You did what you had to do, and you did a good job doing it. It didn't work out exactly how you wanted it to, but you're a master of your craft, and you adapted despite the odds, despite the isolation. You know what you're doing, and so you got it done. And here's your self-worth. You're feeling good about yourself right now. You're leveled up. You got more experience. You're implementing your experience, and you know your worth. And so that's not in question here. It's just you were hoping for, a connection. But you showed the light and the darkness to them. They weren't interested in that. So they will drown with their sorrows because that's their karma. But you're accomplished. You're strategizing on what to do for the future and everything. So pretty good for you. Good job. And yeah. So what about the traveling knowledge? Basically knowledge. I guess my advice for you is, harvest what you can out of the situation. Because you came there for knowledge. Maybe it was disappointing, but now you know. And so it's not going to affect you like it did. Okay, you gotta rest, you gotta integrate that to heal the pain and everything. If you want to get back to your foolish state, you gotta have that rest. Recharge your body, and then everything's looking good. So just tend to your mental health looks fantastic right here. This is more like just exhaustion, emotional exhaustion, and physical fatigue. And you might still be alone, but this is a resonation. So you're on the path. If you don't have people in your life right now, you're on the path of meeting actually good, healthy connections. Like here, I'll show you the solar system. Like, who wants to stick around this solar system, huh? Like, you had your experience here. You're taking off. I mean, You tried out Mars for a while. Go back in time. All right, 21. Okay. Yeah, play. All right. So you know, you're here. You're doing your thing, and you see all these people socializing, and you think about stopping them by. You interact with the planet of war for a brief moment, and pass that by. And then you're thinking about Venus. You interact with the planet of love. It's not working out. Hang on. Gosh. Okay. Alright, so you're heading towards the planet of war. Right here. Yeah, here's communication. And you do some communicating. And then there's Venus. Love with the exposure of communication. There's communication right here. And then there's Earth. And here's this is the future now. Now you're off to Jupiter, the planet of like exploring different concepts and everything. And when do we get to Jupiter? Around March, late March or something. So what are we? We're December 21st. Okay. So yeah, we're right here right now, traveling. We're on our way to a bunch of knowledge and different concepts. We already did the war, love, communication thing. So yeah, it's life, I suppose. Okay. I guess that's my reading. I mean, you did your job. You're just tired. Maybe you wanted to be included, but you weren't. But you're a master of whatever you're doing. So, you know, good job for you. You got it done in a creative way. And, yeah, you can harvest what you can off of it. Like travelers. Travelers have to stay, light on their feet, you know, like a cat. Hang on. Transform. Okay, so travelers, they need to stay light on their feet so they can move around. Okay, if you're on a cargo mission, you can't haul it all back. Sometimes you got to make sacrifices, and sometimes you have to sort out these things before you're actually willing to take the time to sort out these things. And the sooner you do it, the better. It's just you weren't expecting such a load, you know. And the thing about travelers, I used to be on a bicycle. I had to go to this art institute that never taught me anything, but because I already knew how to draw. But I went to the art institute for like 3D animation and stuff. They didn't teach me anything. But and then there was a scam of a school. I opened a box with a knife and they cast me out, kind of like this. All my hopes and dreams and stuff. Anyway, different hat for a different story. But I was wearing a graduation hat because I never graduated from anything because I got my GED. But I had a graduation hat on that I picked up from the local thrift shop, and I went down to the goth club after I was kicked out of the art institute for opening a box with a knife. And this old guy, he's like, "Oh, dude, did you graduate?" And I'm like, "No, I got kicked out." And he's like, "Hell yeah!" It was nice. But anyway, different hat for a different story. Doesn't make sense right now. But anyway, anomalies and travelers. We're coming up to the individual, the 111 time. That is January 1st, 2026. That would be the 111. That is also the year of 10-10-10. Since there's 12 months and only 9 numbers, we're going to include 10, 11, and 12. And so, also in October, I'll do something 10-10-10. And so we're coming up to 111, and 111 is individuality. And so this anomaly and the traveler, you're all alone, you're solo, and you're you. You're an individual. You're a weirdo. And so yeah, that's life, I guess. Okay, that's a happy ending. This is adaptation. Okay. So maybe it's not the ending you wanted, but you did a good job. You got things done. And, you did what you came there to do. And when people don't celebrate you, that's on them. Okay, there are comical cosmic consequences. And, you know, this is a temporary state. Okay, you might be overwhelmed, you just need sleep. Okay. And then you will turn that frown upside down. So, with the traveler, you kinda gotta make the most of the situation. I mean, maybe you thought you'd stop in somewhere and that place turned out to be gross, and so you gotta kinda compromise and go somewhere else. And maybe you're having a good day, maybe you're having a bad day, but you're alone, and so you gotta prepare for that. I mean, you have to have a flashlight for flashing situations. You gotta, you know, have your knife for knifing situations, and your little brush for brushing situations. There's a marker. You can have a marker for marking situations. The thing is, though, with the travelers, I used to be on my bike, and I had a big bag full of all the stuff that I thought I would need. Like, in an emergency, I could use this and this. But it was such a big burden on my back. Like, I couldn't use it at all because I was so fatigued and so overwhelmed. It's better to be light on your feet so you can get away than have all the things just in case of an emergency. So, you know, pack like a bag of stuff that you need in an emergency and store it somewhere that you could access later. But like every day, you gotta travel light. You can't have that burden on your shoulders. You can't have all these things. Like, I'm gonna be doing this whole minimalist thing with technology and everything. In my storage locker, I had 10 years of stuff, you know, like in the past. Like, I had CDs and DVDs, and now everything's MP3 and digital, when I had paper and markers when I got, like, you know, digital stylus now. It's technology has changed. And so you know, I took all the paper because I wrote down all the stuff. I can harvest that onto the digital and get rid of the paper. So it's a time of, you know, deciding what's really valuable, what's really not. And you know, this is the time of being that light in the darkness. And sometimes a traveler can do that, but if that's not reciprocated, then you know, then this happens. But consequences. Anyway, so travelers, you know, sometimes things don't go well. Sometimes we're not embraced when we should be. And but you know, that doesn't change what we wanted to be. We wanted to be this this foolish creature that brought hope and inspiration, and we didn't get that in return. But it doesn't mean that that we should stop sharing our light, because it's the light in the darkness. But what this does mean is to cut off ties with people who don't appreciate that. Okay, because there are other people out there that will appreciate that. So yeah, try to be happy as you can be with your accomplishments, because you have accomplished something, even though it was very taxing and draining. You got it done. So good Good for you. Okay. That's it. Happy trails. Happy travels. Yeah. Have a good journey. Okay, make the most of your journey. That's important. To find the silver linings. Okay. I thought about this on the road. Well, there was a bunch of traffic held up on the other side. It was like a line of white light. I tried to take a photo of it. Swerved into the other lane. But anyway, I was all alone because on our side it was dark and night, and there wasn't much traffic, so I felt safe enough to do that. But even though I thought I was in full control, it still swerved a little. I'm like, oh no, I can't do this. And the photo was terrible too, because it couldn't capture anything at night. It was a terrible situation. But anyway, the silver lining. Okay. The silver lining of all the lights on the road. Like I thought I told you about this. The heart that collapsed. It had gold lining on it, and the gold lining came off. So yeah. Anyway, I'm trying to end this happy. I'm finding difficult with that, but traveler. Okay, you think of a foolish character in your head for like a story, a traveler. They're all happy and charismatic, and like they bring light to the darkness and the misery. You want to aspire to be that, and sometimes it's difficult. It's a tragedy that we all face with our lives. We gotta, put that pain aside into ricochet energy and get on with our lives. So wherever you are traveling, try to make the most of the experience. Okay. You risk your life every day just going down to get groceries. You don't know what will happen. You take a walk, you might trip. Okay. There's hazards everywhere. And sometimes things happen like in the most complex situations, and you come out fine. And it's like, no, of course. But the little mundane thing of like walking down 3 stairs. Oh no. These things happen. So prepare. You must be prepared, and don't travel with too much. Okay, so I was a fool, and I packed my car with like half of the stuff that I wanted to show this guy, because I was traveling to see him, and he never took the time to embrace my light, so he never got to see anything, and so I had to travel back with the stuff that I already bought and I had brought to show and tell like friends do, but he wasn't a friend. So yeah, all the stuff in the storage I had to donate and just harvest what I could from it. But I wrapped up the situation pretty well. So that's kind of what you gotta do. You gotta, is this really valuable? Does this really make you happy? Can you donate it? Like sure, you could spend hours and hours and years trying to sell something on Craigslist, or just donate it, get it out of your life, move on, and focus all your space and time on something that you can actually do something with right now. So keep it light. All right, you gotta have your light. You gotta have your defenses. Okay, your water, your food. But don't try to travel with a bunch of stuff. Keep it light so you can dodge and do your survival thing. So good luck to you. Happy trails. Greetings. In this anomaly reading, birds of a feather flock together. This is what this is. Yeah. Sometimes you're not alone, and you actually resonate with people and have a group dynamics sometimes, in some situations. And so this is what this is. So here we go, right here, right now. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Right here. This is it. So this would be the let's focus on this neat thing over here. Okay, so you see how these comets are all grouped together? Kinda. We got the K1 Atlas, different from the 3-1 Atlas, 3I Atlas. So we got K1 Atlas, the neat, and the Swan, and it's next to Earth. Okay, so these are like the flocking birds here, like birds of a feather flying together. This is different from the Lemmon Wierzchos weirdo Lemmon situation with the communication with the Venus and the Mars and the Sun with the karmic Saturn Neptune delusion thing. This is different from the Traveler and the knowledge and the Earth experience, which is disappointing. This is something neat, something actually neat. It has a swan in it, an atlas, and Earth. So this is the group here, the group dynamic, the neat group, the atlas, and that's what I'm doing a reading on this winter solstice. You know, where birds fly home for something, but you know, it's winter. Anyway, birds of a feather flock together. So this is about community, about your actual community, your soul tribe of friends, actual friends in your future, perhaps, because maybe you're solo right now, like I am. But birds of a feather, we gotta you know, what's coming up is 111. It's January 1st, 2026. It's individuality, and so you gotta embrace your individuality to actually, you know, figure out where you belong. And so birds of a feather, you know, once you're all individual and stuff, then maybe you'll find your own spiritual kin, your connections, your actual people in the places that you go. So this is that reading, you know. We got a swan in the birds of the feather. How fancy that? Yeah, that's kind of fancy. So what I'm gonna do is this is an anomaly reading regarding birds of a feather flocking together. So you know, sometimes you get a community. Okay, sometimes you do, and this is one of those readings. So what kind of community happens when the flocking time occurs? Anyway, this is the Fate Tarot. Okay, so this is an anomaly. I went up north for my winter, and I had to go down south again. But I traveled over 1,000 miles, and I was alone, so I didn't get to flock with anything. But this was in storage for 10 years, and I don't know what this is. So yeah, here it is. I drew the same card again. I modified this. I put a Sharpie around it because I didn't agree with all the colorful people. They made the green people represent fire, and I'm against that. So I'm treating these as oracle cards. This is called the Fate Tarot. This was in storage for 10 years, and so I'm pulling it out and using it because it's an anomaly. I have no memories with this until now. So I'm gonna dance with this deck, if you know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, so I'm gonna do a reading for you. This is regarding social dynamics, particularly healthy social dynamics. Your spiritual kin, the places you belong in, and you know, any advice about that at all. You know, this is the deck. So yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. I don't really have a community, so I don't have too much experience. The thing about the birds, though, so just because you're a bird, okay, so like, you know, when birds are together, they're like together, meaning like they have to stick together for survival. Okay, yeah, sure, some birds like mate for life and they have whatever, but they're all together like a family that you don't want to be a part of. You gotta travel if you're traveling with family. I didn't travel with a family, I traveled by myself. But like when you're a kid, you gotta kind of move with them, you know, and birds of a feather flock together. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have a positive experience or have your spiritual kin, but you know, sometimes it's a group dynamic that is a toxic situation, but you have to be a bird and survive with the other birds, or you'll get like eaten or something. So by non-birds or other birds, you know, birds eat birds all the time. So yeah, it's a difficult world, and we're all surviving. You know, on my travels recently, when I traveled way up north 1,000 miles to do something, and then I traveled back south 1,000 miles, unfortunately, because we're doing a bird reading, I did see a dead crow. And that's not the first time I saw dead crows. It's just death is a theme right now with birds too as well. So maybe there's a death in your community, a death in your family. Maybe this is an ending, a severing of connections, of cords. This is the winter solstice, and it's a very karmic kind of time. This is the 999 time of 2025, and what that means is that things are coming to full cycles. So you know, things may be difficult and difficult to deal with, difficult people, difficult situations, things not going as expected. However, there is a silver lining upon the sky. It's working out for a better reason. Like these people weren't really your kind, you know. So you know, they're different species, completely different species. This is all about how to find your own species, okay? Maybe you were a crow and you were trying to socialize with parrots or something. I don't know. I don't know your situation. It's just, this is what this is. So, you know, it can be difficult finding your tribe, your place, and especially in social dynamics. Like, you show up to a place, you want to be there for a long time, and sometimes it just doesn't go like how you think it will. So you know, it's kind of unfortunate, but whatever. Let's get to the reading, shall we? Let's get the light. Alright. Da-da-da. Okay. Here we go. Birds of a feather situation flocking together. Alright, here's my anomaly reading, and we're doing this. Okie dokie. So, cosmically, this is the Swan, this is the neat. You know, you gotta be neat about it. And that other thing, K1 Atlas, and Earth. You know, you go into Earth and stuff. So I'm treating this deck as an oracle deck. So whatever comes to mind, I'm gonna talk about it. Cause that's what I do. I talk about things now. To never let anybody silence you, you know. So here we go. This is an anomaly reading. These comets are an anomaly in our system, much like maybe, you know, birds traveling to a place. You know, when birds just like show up and then they stay there, like wildlife or whatever, that's kind of their place now. Even though the humans planned to have that place be something else. But, the wildlife took it over, so. It sometimes happens to humans and stuff. So. That's life. Oh no. That's interference right there when the deck does that. I'm just gonna shuffle it again. Yeah, I don't trust these. Social dynamics and stuff, you know, you gotta be careful. Don't trust anyone. Sometimes there's a pecking order to things, social situations, family dynamics. Sometimes you're the runt of the family and you have to do something to actually stand up for yourself, you know, so. Alright, there we go. Empty socially. What do we got here? Oh no. Okay. Okay, these ones. This. Oh no. And this one too. Okay. So, interesting. We got this birds of a feather flock together situation. And what do we get? What do we get? Well. Oh boy. Okay. Look at this. Oh wait. Hang on. Okay, look at this. These are, you know, bird creatures in a home and waiting on something. This could be, they could be sisters, they could be, you know, siblings, they could be like the mother, child, waiting on the father to stop by and provide all the resources. That could be a situation for someone. Gosh, see, the thing about families, you gotta have a provider for that family, and if that provider, maybe they get killed, okay, they can't provide anymore. Maybe they're not providing because they're a defect, and they're not providing, and so all this waiting around for resources, I mean, you got the cup empty right here. That's a very bad sign, okay? You're not getting your nourishment. We got the child in reverse here. So, perhaps you're thinking about getting an abortion, because you know that your current mate is unreliable, and so the pregnancy is not going to develop into a healthy child and have a good life, and so you're thinking of freeing yourself, which I support, and not condemning the soul to an unhappy existence. Maybe this is just an unhappy child. Maybe a child is sick. Maybe a child got hurt or something. Maybe they're suffering emotionally because they're kind of the same color right here. Maybe they're being neglected. Alright. And this one's focused on getting resources, right? Whether these are siblings, they're being neglected, their needs are not being met. And so someone has to go get resources. And so maybe it's a kid that has to grow up a little bit too fast because the other people aren't there. Now, that's one scenario. Okay. There's this. This has a similar style to this one here. So this may be this is a provider right here. This is a master of their circumstances. And maybe this one needs to seek out the help of this provider. Or this one is this provider. And so they're saying, okay, I'm not getting the resources delivered to me. I gotta go fly out and get the resources myself to support this kid. And there's another, like, the stress, the misery. This could be a kid being unsupported, or this could be the adult, or the kid having to play the role of an adult to get things done, and it's stressful and complicated and everything. However, these two cards here, very interesting. So this is the war card. You know, you're preparing for war, and it's in reverse. So you're not preparing for war. You're being creative. You're being expressional. You're making art and not war. That's a very clear thing here. You know, in a real world scenario, maybe you're turning down the military to focus on an art career or path or something like that. This isn't a soldier, okay? This is a warrior. They don't take orders. They fight because of their heart, their passion, their spirit to defend their community, to defend their family, to defend themselves. Usually this is a loner who has to do something for themselves or for the people they care about, much like, you know, they're young, but they gotta take action. But this was in reverse. And then it's right by this character that seems like maybe you're healing from past traumas where you were very defensive and you're learning to not be as defensive. Maybe this was survival and it's in the past, and now you're in creative mode. Or maybe you're learning how to see from a different perspective, more communicate about feelings and stuff, then get upset. So you're choosing a more calming way to handle your experiences. Maybe you're focusing more on art and creativity than watching the news. And, you know, because the hairstyle is different, this kind of seems like the past and the future, or the present. And so, it's, you gotta be aware of your evolution, of your individual progress. Now, this is a birds of feather flock together kind of situation, so there's multiple characters here. And although this one kind of looks like the same one, it's just you're putting down your sword to pick up your pen, and so I think there's a better way. Yeah, so how you handle your social dynamics instead of like killing everyone. You could have an open discussion. You could talk about your feelings. You could make projects of art together instead of war. So that's one scenario. Now, we do have these. Okay. Hang on. Alright. So we got these circles right here. And there's a happy home and a miserable home. That's what I'm seeing here. And okay, maybe there's a drunk and a nonchalant, you know, a guy's not taking responsibility. He's just doing whatever he wants, hanging out with the boys kind of thing, never texting, never calling. And then maybe there's a girl who's drunk and not available emotionally and just like a social wreck. And there's a child suffering in this dynamic, and so the kids have to fend for themselves, or the mother like can't rely on this father over here. And there's stress. There's another dynamic here where these swords. Okay. We got a rising energy in feminine, a falling energy in masculine, and a child in reverse as well. So maybe this is like a custody kind of thing. Maybe the father and the child turned on the mother. And the mother's in rising energy, so this would be a good character. And maybe like this corrupt individual is using information, intellectual warfare to kind of turn the kid away from the mother. If these were all up in normal rising energy, then this would be a family that's you know, that learns combat and is more like a warrior kind of thing. This would be a kid that's well taught by these two warriors. But because it's like this, maybe a mother lost her mate and the child. This could indicate loss, and she's alone now. There's some sort of divide here, some sort of separation. So this is either death or like a social dynamic where, you know, someone's dead to another person while they're still alive kind of thing. So there could be mourning over the loss of a family in some sort of dynamic. And specifically the masculine and the child is in negative energy, and the feminine is in positive energy with that. And they are all swords, which means there's some sort of information thing going on there. And now we got the circle people. Oh, wait. Here we go. Here's another sword. This is like an older child that already left the house and, you know, not part of the dynamic, or maybe, I don't know, your living situation, but there's like multiple kids, and you know, maybe a woman's living in a situation where there's like too many men around and they're being offensive towards women, and she can't get out of her situation, and she didn't want to raise her children to be offensive towards women. And so, you know, it's that could be a dynamic where she has to leave the situation because they're not respecting her. And there's, here we go, the with the stylus here, the frustration, the despair. You know, like the guy gets to do whatever he wants, the girl is burdened, kind of thing. There could be resentment of having a child because the guy didn't teach the children how to be men, or how to be manly. The man did not teach the boys how to be men, and so the women suffer because of that. There's another dynamic with the circle people. This seems like a happy home. Okay, we got the love and the providers, and this kid who's doing art. And so there's emotional stability, there's resources, there's leadership. This is a happy dynamic. This is art. This, you know, they're all about their emotions and the respect and everything. And so maybe this is like a big family, and these are some like factions of the family. Maybe these are two kids of this family, and you know, I don't know your situation, but birds of a feather flock together. So you know, maybe I should move these cards. I don't know. Hang on just a second. Okay. So birds of a feather flock together. Let's put the happy people over here. There's the circle people. And here's the sword people. Okay. This is kind of a sword-like thing. And, it's a wand, but, these are more circly. Alright, so maybe there's two families here. Alright, birds of a feather flock together. Unhappy family. And, a happy family. Maybe they know each other, maybe they don't. Okay, there's this card. There's emotional unfulfillment. Yeah, so. Ah, gosh, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it could be anything. It could be anything. But we got these circles here. And so, maybe this happy family indulges too much in alcohol, in just being a hippie. I don't know. Like here. They're in... Well, this one's indulging in... What is it called? Hedonism? Where you try to take pleasure off of life or something. But, you neglect your responsibilities because of that. And so, you're trying to, like, suck up all the sun and have a good day, but you got a family to provide for. And so you're being intoxicated when people are relying on you. And so, you know, these eyes right here, they're not open, they're kind of like slitted, so that might mean drugs, or alcohol, some sort of toxic situation where they're indulging too much. And then there is neglect here. And, like they could have all the provisions, because here's a provider here offering, well, it could be a drink, you know, and just, it's too much. I don't know. But there's neglect, there's a survival situation, there's embracing life, there's, your cup's not being filled, or intoxication. There's the provider, there's the creator, there's the other creative provider. This seems like a good group. Maybe this is separate. Like 1, 2, and maybe 3 and 4. Maybe this one's separate with this. This is like a single girl who's pregnant and trying to do an abortion kind of thing. I don't know. Maybe their sibling just died or something. The stress of just life, being alone, thinking about children. Maybe you're stressed because you can't see yourself having kids because you don't have the mates, the providers, and it's stressing you out. Maybe you're getting older or something. Maybe you're thinking about adoption. I don't know. Just socializing in general. Maybe there's a childhood memory that's hard to handle, and so that's very distracting, and you still don't have a friend or something because life is terrible. You don't have that birds of a feather flock together kind of situation. Now, this is winter solstice. I will show you the universe again. This is the time of winter solstice, and so this is the time of taking in all the lessons of before, and you know, the light and the darkness kind of thing. This is the dark night of the soul. This is the time where we're in our heads and we're thinking about things, and so in winter, what we do is we gather around by the fire, you know, and for survival, you know, we someone provides the meat, someone provides the story. There's the neat. The neat will provide the meat. The Swan can be like the emotional fulfillment, and the Atlas can be the stories that entertain everyone at home while winter is happening, while you're all warming by the sun fire thing. Anyway, birds of a feather flock together. Why do we flock together? For survival, for a community. We're not an island. We need each other. We can't be in toxic community though. So if there is a toxic family member, a toxic social dynamic, you want to avoid that. Also, birds of a feather flock together. So if you think you need a drink to socialize, well, you're gonna be attracting all the drunkards, and you don't want that. You want to learn how to socialize without the drink, so you can have healthy dynamics. You know, if you're in a survival situation, you're going to find others in a survival situation, and you guys can come together, work together, and help provide, because you both understand what it is to survive. If you're a hippie, you gotta be with other hippies, okay? You're not gonna do well with a goth or an emo. You need your hippie people. Entrepreneurs, artists, entertainers, you gotta group together. Do your entertaining artist thing. You don't want to be in a social dynamic where someone's way too logical and you can't express yourself creatively. And so, like, if there's that dynamic where you're trying to make it work, but you just, like, someone's way too logical to support your creative endeavors, like maybe you're doing tarot, maybe you're embracing your spiritual side, and someone's just like logic. Yeah, that's not gonna work out. So you want to be with other spiritual, open-minded people. And if your thing is logic and you don't like the whole spiritual dimension, then you know, stick to the facts and only the logic. I'm getting teaching vibes here, so maybe there's some sort of someone's a teacher in a situation, like a school. Okay, there's a teacher that's being unfair and tried your hardest for a grade or something, and people just aren't meeting their deadlines or something. And so that holds you back socially, because maybe you can't be with your friends in the next grade. You're being held back. And I'm seeing some people are putting in all the effort, and some people are not putting in all the effort. Overall, this is the hostility card, and it's in reverse. Okay. This is the happiness right there. This is worry. This is like prosperity and abundance. You're in your prime. This is creativity. This is provisions. This is knowledge and wisdom. This is a concerning character. Someone's withholding knowledge. Someone wants silence. Maybe they're trying to silence a situation, a social dynamic. So this is a liar. You got a liar in your social dynamic. Multiple liars. Maybe he's influenced some liars, and you're here telling the truth, and so it's a difficult dynamic. Yeah, you're stressed about something, and needs are not being attended to. This is the new beginning card of just new things, and it's in reverse, so maybe you thought you could have like a new adventure or something, but it's You're kind of devastated that this new opportunity is not working out with this particular social thing, and so you gotta move over to people who are better. Pretty much. Avoid the drunks, avoid the liars, avoid the gossipers. You know, your new beginning is coming. It's not here yet, but you're being positive minded about it. You're not just resorting to hostilities. You're focusing on your happiness. You got to have that rest and relaxation. Maybe you're introverted, and so you need that time for yourself to focus on you. So you got enough energy to do the whole socializing thing. Now this is a survival situation right here, so I'm kind of concerned with that, about like children being neglected and some sort of thing. So you gotta attend to that. In some way. That could be your inner child. That could just be neglecting your own needs when you're doing other things. This is the basic survival resources. Here's survival mode, creative mode. So, you know, you could be drinking too much caffeine, too much alcohol. Attend to your health more. Because, like this card, this is the growth card, right? Things are starting to grow. When it's in reverse, it's like things are decaying. So, you know, you got your poison right here. So, you gotta tend to your health, whether that be physically or emotionally, spiritually. There's some sort of decay here. And, of course, these liars aren't helping. Maybe communication. Open communication. That's the key to everything, is communication. You gotta have honesty and express yourself. And if someone's shutting you down, if someone's trying to silence you, then you gotta get out of that social dynamic. You gotta cut ties with them. But yeah, this is an absolutely wonderful card of prosperity, of health and happiness. They're in the prime of their life. They're like an entertainer, showing their creations and everything. This is the happy, creative at home card. This is like the on stage presence. Here's the provider. This is like a good mate coming in, and this could be, you know, this girl finding a healthy guy to be with and getting out of this toxic liar situation. So there's that. So you can be in the prime of your life, so you can have happy memories at home by yourself or with others. Right now there's stress, there's fatigue, there's worry. So, yeah, focus on the foundations of health and wellness. Focus on communication. You gotta learn how to communicate your standards, your needs. If you're not getting that text or that call, if men refuse to call you, then refuse to have them in your life. Okay? If you text them, the woman has to text the man to explain the emotions, the feelings, and if their needs are not being met, then you gotta get a new guy. Look at this guy. I mean, he's all ready to share emotions and everything. So, it's probably what you need. Anyway. Yeah, I guess that's it. Social dynamics. It's interesting. So, maybe not interesting. Maybe not interesting at all. You know, if someone's not interesting anymore, you shouldn't be pursuing them. So there's that dynamic. Okay. So... yeah, so there was that. Birds of a feather flock together, and so you really need to be with your own kind, you know? Like, I'm wearing this because I want to be with my own kind, and if my kind looks like this, you know, like superheroes stuff, super villains, I'll take those too. But yeah, it's a difficult world to be a part of a group. Like, you go to a goth club and you're a goth, you're an emo, and you know, you go all the way there, drive 1,000 miles, and still no one resonates with you. So yeah, sometimes, yeah, this is the end of the cycle. Okay, this is the winter solstice, the time of reflection and endings. And so you sever the cords, you get all the knowledge and all the things. And so, you know, the new stuff comes later. This is dealing with the old, getting it out of your life. Pecking order, you know, establishing your pecking order. Sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes the runt of the family is going to turn out to be the dominant one in the social dynamic, and so the shy one turns into the entertainer, the tortured and abused one learns how to stand up for themselves, and then they cut out all the abusive ones in their family dynamics or social circles. So yeah, you don't want to be in a situation you don't want to be in, you know. So you gotta socialize with the people who you want to socialize with, okay? Don't tolerate bad language. Don't tolerate scum, okay? If everybody's making these inappropriate jokes, yeah, stand up for yourself. Stand up for just general life. Like, say something. Say, like, what did you mean by that? Did you really just say that? What does that mean to you? Why'd you say that? So, yeah, don't be afraid to be an outcast. This is an anomaly reading, and this anomaly reading is specifically for a group dynamic. So you need to embrace the fool and be confident in yourself to stand up for yourself, so you can risk social isolation by standing up for what you need. And if someone's not going to treat you right, don't tolerate disrespectful behavior. You gotta state your needs, and if that kicks you out of a place, you know, so be it. You'll find better people that resonate you with more. And the thing is, when someone's actually like kind of like looking around and seeing if they can find someone like themselves, well, the thing is, if they see you don't like your current social dynamic and you're just kind of socializing with scum because you're lonely, well, the thing is, your future people, they might see you with the scum, and you know, you can tell a lot about the company you keep. So you can tell a lot about someone by the company they keep, the friends that they keep. And so you don't want to have these so-called friends who aren't friends, who are just scum. Maybe they can treat you almost okay, decently, for a few hours at least, but they got a reputation or something of being a terrible person. And so if someone sees you with that terrible person, just because they're kind of friendly to you, they might judge you for that. So there's that social dynamic. For example, if you like clean language, okay, and you're hanging out with someone who uses mud language, dirty language, then this other clean language person is looking around for another clean language speaker, and so they're gonna see you talking to this mud talker, all right, and so they're gonna assume you're a mud talker because you're tolerating the mud talking. And so all you gotta do, 22, 22, 22 on the clock. I swear I'm not a hippie. Okay, I'm an emo. It's 2222222. It's 222222. It's a sign of finding a mate. Okay, it's a sign of having a conversation, an actual conversation. Fancy that, right, darling? So you know, you gotta do your flocking together and embrace who you are. You know, birds of a feather. Stripes go with stripes, spots go with spots. You gotta be with your own kind. And so it's difficult to find your own kind because sometimes, you know, you think they're your own kind, but they're not, and there's this whole social deception and everything. And here, when a special moment happens, someone's supposed to be on their best behavior, right? And if what they're showing you is their best behavior, and it's substandard, and you know that's their best shot, you know, just it's not gonna work out. Okay, golly. Anyway, we find ourselves in situations where we gotta tolerate the company of some people, like in a family, and we do that for survival, right? Like the survival card right here. And we do that until we can make our escape and find our own freedom, right? And so while we're in this family dynamic, life is miserable, but you know, we gotta embrace the good times, which is alone by ourselves because of the current abusive pecking order. Okay, so you want to find your own path in life by establishing your own territory, and so you're moving away from always resorting to anger. Okay, defensiveness. Say you're used to severing ties with everybody, and now you're like, you want to give them a shot. Okay, you give them one opportunity. They don't prove themselves. It doesn't work out. They completely neglect you. Okay, and you're trying to grow something, but it decays instead, and it's stressing. Yeah, it's very depressing. But you know what? Focus on you. Okay, you're gonna be the best that you could possibly be, and one day you're gonna meet that person who provides you with what you need, and it doesn't leave you empty, crying, alone for weeks and weeks and weeks. But anyway, yeah. So happy to you. You know, think of the stories of the superheroes, since I got this on my head right now. Think of life as a writer. Okay, here's a writer. Here's a writer right here. Writers are miserable. Why? Because we're always thinking. We're always using our minds, and eventually, we can get to here where we're in creative mode. Everything's happy. But how would you write a story about a superhero, right? First they're going to start off alone. Okay, first they're going to be in a social dynamic that doesn't work out too well. Everybody's going to attack them, and then part of their character development is to actually stand up for themselves and establish their boundaries, cut off ties, maybe give someone a chance that it doesn't work out or follow through with, and so you're miserable. But you know, they're not good enough, they're not appealing. I mean, it's just all a fantasy. But anyway, you know, this is life, and we can't be an island. We can't just be isolated. At least we're getting out there. At least we're trying. Okay, just because we're not successful, at least we tried. At least we did something. It's better than just sitting alone, all miserable. This means going out to a new club. This means waiting for a new business to open and trying that out. It means going online for online community resources. Love is a fundamental need, okay? It's not something that's extra. It's not a luxury. It's fundamental. We need it. And if we're not getting love, then we desperately need to seek it out from another source, because that is fundamental. We need that. We need to be with our own kind. And that's where the stories happen, okay? All these superheroes, okay? They start out alone, they start out miserable, they have all these tragedies, the tragic backstories and everything, and then they master themselves. And then they're their best form ever, okay? Like this. They become what they were always meant to be. And then another superhero comes along, and then they meet, and they're the best because they're, you know, they're better for each other than their previous toxic counterparts, because all that the toxic counterparts were like stepping stones to get you to that elevated level. So you know, this is kind of a story of you know, being this new life form that was neglected, that had to take matters into their own hands to survive. And so they did the fighting thing, they did the whole trauma thing, and then they learned how to not fight. They learned how to use their words, and how to express themselves in a more positive manner. And now, this was necessary. The fighting was necessary, but learning how to not fight is also a fantastic skill. And that means you don't waste your tears on people that don't deserve to be cried about. You can save things for yourself, so you don't run dry. You don't want to be dry. But anyway, it's creativity, you know, expression. You're finally in creative mode, and then you learn how to express yourself. You gain all this knowledge. You can identify the toxic liars, the intellectual warfare of deception and stuff. And then these people, look at this. So this is you, okay? You're amazing, beautiful, wonderful. And you met this guy, okay? You thought it was this guy. Like, this was your fantasy. And you thought it was a perfect match and amazing if he would just, you know, behave himself and be amazing. But no. And so he kept disappointing you and everything. And so you finally have a conversation with the guy. You express everything, and suddenly this guy, look at him. He suddenly turns into this. Like overnight, like all this fantasy you had about, no. He looks like that now. And it's just not appealing like you thought he was, and so it's just like absolutely terrible. But meanwhile, there's this guy you don't know about, because you haven't met him yet, or whatever, for your situation. But he's looking far more appealing than your fantasy ever did, upside down. So anyway, that's one scenario. And meanwhile, you know, you're focusing on yourself, doing things in your own spare time, mastering yourself, and life's working out. So, never neglect anything. You know, if you see this in a social dynamic, tend to it. Okay, this could be you, this could be someone, This could be your cousin. This could be your sibling. This could be a parent or something. We gotta look out for each other. We're a community, and so if you see this, you gotta tend to it. Ask if there's anything you can do, if there's something okay. That can be the difference between life and death. So, one conversation can go a long way, or it cannot. So, social dynamics, that's it's important. You know, it's a lonely road sometimes, but once you find your mate, your other swan, your other kin, your community to be with, your friends. Once you find real friends, then you know things can start happening. And there's this thing about where the evil things in life want to keep us isolated, and so what we're learning to do is to identify the liars and the manipulators, deal with them, and not get so offended, to not take it personally, to do something about it in a more constructive mindset. And that's necessary when you're interacting with people. So, that's my advice. You know, we gotta stick together, alright? Only if it's healthy, though. You know, don't tolerate stickiness. Alright? So, alright, bye.